Lecture 26. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Virtual University's course on Business and Technical Communication. In today's lecture, we will be looking at empirical research reports. In this lecture, you will learn about the typical writing situations in which an empirical research report will be written. We will also look at the typical questions that readers ask most often, like we looked at typical questions when writing a general report. We will also look at the superstructure for empirical research reports, which will include the introduction, the objectives of the research, method, discussion, conclusion, and recommendations. We'll talk about headings, we'll have a look at a planning guide, and we'll briefly review some sample research reports as well. Now, what are the typical writing situations in which an empirical research report would be written? You will be able to use the superstructure for empirical research reports most successfully if you understand the purpose of research discussed in these reports. When you're writing about empirical research, you will be writing to people who will make decisions based on the results of your report, or a smaller amount of empirical research has a different purpose, and that could be to extend general human knowledge. So the two different types of purposes: one could be where people are making decisions based on your research, and the other where your research is being used to extend human knowledge. The researchers set out to learn how fish remember, for example, in extending human knowledge, what the molten core of Earth is like, etc. This research is carried out for the sake of humanity and is published in science journals, etc. In some situations, the two aims of research, those which research which aims to help in decision making and research which aims to extend human knowledge, in some situations these two aims overlap. Some organizations sponsor basic research, usually in the hope that what is learnt can later be turned into practical use. So a lot of the times people want sponsor research or are interested in some kind of research to learn something, to extend their knowledge, and then later it may also be converted into practical use, and decisions may be made on the basis of what has been learned. Likewise, some practical research turns up results that are of interest to those who desire to learn more about the world in general. So it could also be the other way around, that the main purpose of the research is practical, but as a result of that there are some conclusions, some findings that would be of interest to people who are not going to take any action, but they will be reading the report basically to extend their horizons, to expand their knowledge. The readers are most likely to ask certain questions when they are setting out to read a report. We looked at some questions that readers ask when we looked at general reports, and in the same way, when they are reading empirical reports, even then the readers will have some preconceived notions, some preconceived questions that will come up in their minds and that they are likely to ask of the material that they are faced with, and of themselves as well, and of you as a writer. Whether it aims to support practical decisions, extend human knowledge, or achieve some combination of the two purposes, almost all empirical research is customarily reported in the same superstructure. All report will follow the same type of superstructure that we will be looking at, regardless of what the purpose of that report is. And this is because the readers of all types, regardless of what they are hoping to get out of the report, all types of readers will have 7 general questions about the report. So as we saw in the previous lecture, there were 6 general questions and there were 6 sections of the report. In this, when we look at empirical reports, there are 7 general questions that readers tend to ask, and there are correspondingly 7 sections to a report as well that answer to those questions. The first question that readers are likely to ask is, why is the research important to us? Readers concerned with solving specific practical problems want to know what problems your research will help address. What is it that your research will talk about? Readers concerned with extending human knowledge want to know how you think your research contributes to what humans already know. तो जो भी एम होगा रीडर्स का पढ़ने का, उस हिसाब से वो जानना चाहेंगे कि ये जो रिसर्च है ये उनके लिए किस तरह इम्पोर्टेंट है. अगर वो जो पढ़ने वाले हैं वो कोई प्रैक्टिकल यूज में उस रिसर्च कराना चाह रहे हैं तो फिर वो ये जानना चाहेंगे कि आपकी रिसर्च उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को किस तरह सॉल्व करने में मदद करेगी. और अगर वो रीडर्स इसलिए रिसर्च पढ़ रहे हैं, आपके रिपोर्ट इसलिए पढ़ रहे हैं कि वो अपनी नॉलेज एक्सटेंड करना चाह रहे हैं, तो फिर वो ये जानना चाहेंगे कि आप ऐसा क्या बता रहे हैं जो कि पहले से नहीं पता, कि जो लोगों को पहले पता है उसमें आप क्या ऐड कर रहे हैं. जाहिर है अगर आप वही बात कर रहे हैं जो और भी पहले बहुत हजार लोग कह चुके हैं तो उसमें तो आप कुछ नया कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर रहे. सो पीपल वांट टू नो व्हाट न्यू आर यू कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू existing knowledge. The second important question that readers are likely to ask is, what were you trying to find out? कि आखिर आप क्या ढूंढना चाह रहे थे और आप क्या ढूंढना चाह रहे हैं, आपका पर्पस क्या है ये रिसर्च करने में. what are you looking for? A key part of an empirical research project is the careful formulation of the research questions that the project will try to answer. What is it that you're trying to find out, and you need to formulate your questions very carefully so that the corresponding answers then become clear to you and it becomes clear to the reader what you're trying to find out. Readers want to know what those questions are so that they can determine whether they are significant questions or not. अगर जो सवालात आप पूछ रहे हैं अपनी रिसर्च में, अपनी रिसर्च से, अगर वो इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है रीडर के लिए, अगर वो सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है, तो रीडर के लिए उस रिपोर्ट को पढ़ने का कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. अगर वो जो आप चीज़ें जिनको आप एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं अगर वो उनके इंटरेस्ट की नहीं है, या अगर वो समझते हैं कि ये जो सवाल हैं ये इनका कोई ख़ास मतलब नहीं है. Another question is, was your research method sound or not? What method were you using? Was it reliable? Was it valid or not? Your method has to be appropriate to your research and it has to be intellectually sound. If the research method is not appropriate or intellectually sound, if it's not according to what you're trying to find out, if it's not appropriate to the needs of what you need to know, or if there are flaws in it which are logical flaws or intellectual flaws, then your readers will not place any faith in your results. You will not have any credibility. Your conclusions will not have any credibility, and nor will your recommendations. तो अगर आपके जो methods हैं वो ही इतने पुख्ता नहीं हैं, इतने क्लियर नहीं हैं, साउंड नहीं हैं, रिलायबल नहीं हैं, तो फिर आपके consequently आपके रिजल्ट्स, आपकी कंक्लूजन्स, आपकी रिकमेंडेशंस जो सारी, इनके ऊपर भी आपके ऑडियंस को शक रहेगा और वो ये सोचेंगे कि ये तो इनने जिस तरीके से इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट की है वो ही शायद सही नहीं थी, तो इनकी ये रिजल्ट्स, रिकमेंडेशंस और कंक्लूजन्स किस तरह सही हो सकते हैं. Also, your readers will want to know what results did your research produce. जो आपने रिसर्च की उसके नतीजे में आखिर आपको क्या रिजल्ट्स मिले. And that is obviously very natural that they would want to know that, because if they're going through the research, they're going through the methods that you've used, then obviously the natural conclusion of that is that they want to know what you found. Also, they will want to know how you interpreted those results. Your readers will want to interpret these results in a way that is meaningful to them. So you need the interpretation that you put upon the results should be meaningful to the reader. They will also ask, what is the significance of the results? As you see, there is a natural progression to the questions and there is a natural connection between all the questions. So once they've questioned the methods, they've questioned what results were achieved, the interpretation, then they say, what is the significance of what you found? What answers do these results imply for your research questions? जो आपने शुरू में रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे कि जहां हमने बात की थी कि व्हाट आर यू ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट, तो उन रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस के लिए ये जो आपके रिजल्ट्स हैं ये किस तरह उन रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस के जवाब बनते हैं. एंड ऑल्सो हाउ डू योर रिजल्ट्स रिलेट टू द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट द रिसर्च वाज टू हेल्प सॉल्व और टू द एरिया ऑफ नॉलेज दैट योर रिसर्च सेट आउट टू एक्सपैंड. जो भी आपके रिजल्ट्स हैं वो जो आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव था शुरू में रिसर्च का, अगर आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव ये था कि आप कोई प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, उसकी बेसिस पे कोई डिसीजन लिया जाएगा, तो आपका रिजल्ट उसके साथ किस तरह रिलेट करता है। अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव ये था कि नॉलेज में एक्सपेंशन है, तो फिर उस एरिया ऑफ नॉलेज को किस तरह आपके रिजल्ट्स एक्सपैंड करते हैं और उसके साथ किस तरह रिलेट करते हैं। Also, then the readers also want to know, as a consequence, what do you as a writer think we, the readers, should do. The readers concerned with practical problems want to know what you advise them. आप उनको क्या मशवरा दे रहे हैं, आप क्या recommendations दे रहे हैं। वो जो रीडर्स ने जब कोई प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करनी है, तो वो आप चाहते हैं कि आप उनको मशवरा दें, आप उनको बताएं कि हमने ये रिसर्च की, ये रिजल्ट्स आए, इस तरह हमने उनको इंटरप्रेट किया, अब ये करना चाहिए। रीडर्स कंसर्न विद एक्सटेंडिंग ह्यूमन नॉलेज, ऑन द अदर हैंड, वांट टू नो व्हाट यू थिंक एंड व्हाट यू थिंक योर रिजल्ट्स इम्प्लाई फॉर फ्यूचर रिसर्च। कि जो रिजल्ट्स आपको मिले हैं, जो आपने रिजल्ट्स ढूंढे हैं, अब उनकी बेसिस पे आगे रिसर्च में और आगे नॉलेज की एक्सपेंशन में क्या रोल है उनका। Now, after having looked at these 7 questions that readers are most likely to ask and questions that readers ask most often, you need to look at the superstructure of a general report, because this will answer the questions that readers ask most often. And this superstructure has the following elements. It has an introduction. There's a section which talks of the objectives of the research. Then there's a discussion of the methods, the results. Then there's a discussion of the results, a conclusion and a recommendation. So introduction, objectives, method, results, discussion, conclusion, recommendations. ये 7 sections हो गए जो कि relate करते हैं आपके 7 questions को, जैसा कि इस स्लाइड पे आप देख रहे हैं। Now let's have a look at each of these sections in separately. In the introduction to an empirical report, you should seek to answer the question, why is the research important to us, as we just saw. Typically, writers answer this question in 2 steps. They announce the topic of their research and then they explain the importance of the topic to the readers. When it comes to announcing the topic, you can apply the topic of your research simply by including the topic as the key phrase in the opening sentence of your report. जो भी आपकी रिपोर्ट का ओपनिंग सेंटेंस है, उसके अंदर आप जो मेन फ्रेज है वो आप उसमें आप अपने टॉपिक को शामिल कर लीजिए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, consider the first sentence of a report on the satellite communication system as shown on your screen. For the past 18 months, the Satellite Products Laboratory has been developing a system that will permit companies with large nationwide fleets of trucks to communicate directly with their drivers at any time through a satellite link. अब ये जो हिस्सा आप बॉक्स के अंदर देख रहे हैं, ये इस रिपोर्ट का टॉपिक है कि एक सिस्टम इस तरह का डेवलप होगा जो इन कंपनीज को कम्युनिकेट करने में आसानी करेगा एक सैटेलाइट लिंक के थ्रू। Let's have a look at another one. This is a first sentence from a report on the way people develop friendly relations. It says, social psychologists know very little about the way real friendships develop in their natural settings. Now this phrase, the way real friendships occur in their natural settings, is the topic of the report. Now explaining the importance of the research. Why is the research important? To explain the importance of the research to your readers, you can use either one or both of these methods. You can state the relevance of your research to your organization's goals. कि आपकी जो रिसर्च है वो आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के गोल्स के साथ किस तरह मैच करती है, आप ये बता सकते हैं। और you can review the previously published literature on the subject. जो पहले उस सब्जेक्ट पे काम हो चुका है, आप उसको रिव्यू कर सकते हैं। When it comes to talking about the relevance to organizational goals, in reports which are written in organizations, whether your own or a client's organization, You can explain the relevance of your research by relating it to a goal or a problem that that organization is facing. Sometimes the importance of the research will be so obvious to your readers that merely naming your topic will be sufficient. बहुत बार ये होगा कि आपको सिर्फ टॉपिक का मेंशन करना होगा अपनी रिपोर्ट के शुरू में और उसी से आपकी जो रिसर्च है उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस पता चल जाएगी, क्योंकि वो टॉपिक में ही इतना डायरेक्टली स्टेट किया गया होगा कि वो क्यों ज़रूरी है. However, at other times, you will need to discuss at length the relevance of your research to your organization. In the first paragraph of the satellite report, for instance, the writer mentions the potential market for the satellite communication system that they are developing. Now, the second way was to give an extended discussion of work that has been done previously, a literature review. This is where you review the existing knowledge on your subject and thereby you establish the importance of your research. आप बात करते हैं कि पहले इस एरिया में क्या काम हो चुका है और उसकी वजह से आप दिखाते हैं कि आपका ये एरिया क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है. Generally, you can arrange a literature review in two parts. You can first present the main pieces of knowledge communicated in the literature. क्या-क्या मेन बातें थी जो जनरली कवर हो चुकी हैं, जिनके बारे में पहले रिसर्च हो चुकी है, एंड देन यू आइडेंटिफाई सम सिग्निफिकेंट गैप इन दिस नॉलेज कि ये जो नॉलेज थी जो लोगों को पहले से पता है, जो पहले से रिसर्च हो चुकी है, लेकिन इसमें क्या चीज़ है जो नहीं अभी तक रिसर्च हुई, जिसके बारे में लोगों को अभी तक नहीं पता. दिस इज द वेरी गैप दैट योर ओन रिसर्च विल फिल. जो चीज़ नहीं पता अब आपने उसकी बात करनी है. In this way, you establish this special contribution that your research will make. You're actually showing why your research is important. क्योंकि पहले बात हो चुकी है, पहले बहुत रिसर्च हो चुकी है इस एरिया में, लेकिन एक पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट था जिसको नहीं देखा गया और अब आप उसको देखेंगे, इससे आपकी रिसर्च की अहमियत बढ़ती है. Let's have a look at an example where initially the writer talks about what is known on his topic. This is the beginning of the literature review. He says a great deal of research in social psychology has focused on variables influencing an individual's attraction to another at an initial encounter, usually in laboratory settings. And then in brackets he gives the names and years of who conducted the research and when. And then he continues to identify the gap in knowledge that his research will fill by saying, yet very little data exists on the processes by which individuals in the real world move beyond initial attraction to develop a friendship. Even less is known about the way developing friendships are maintained and how they evolve over time. And then he gives a reference of who says that very little is known about them and about the evolution. Now, as you saw initially in this example, the writer talked about the importance by showing that a lot of research has been done. जाहिर है अगर एक चीज़ ज़रूरी है इसीलिए उसके ऊपर रिसर्च की गई है. And then he says by using the word yet, he lets the reader know that there is something missing. So he qualifies the sentence and then he continues to say that very little data exists on a particular area, which is on the relationships in the real world. पहले तो laboratory settings में थी, अब real world की बात कर रहे हैं और उसके अंदर बहुत कम information है. The writer continues this discussion of the previous research then over 3 paragraphs. Each paragraph follows the same pattern. It identifies an area of research, tells what is known about it, about that area, and then identify gaps in the knowledge. Gaps that will be filled by the research that this writer has conducted. जाहिर है जब आप gaps बता रहे हैं, gaps को highlight कर रहे हैं, तो आप इसीलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि आपका aim मकसद ये है कि आप उन gaps को fill करेंगे, वरना कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है उन gaps को highlight करने की. Now these paragraphs that the writer writes then serve an important additional function, also performed by many literature reviews. They introduce established facts and theories that are relevant to the writer's work and necessary to the understanding of the report. Writers almost always include literature reviews in the reports that they write for professional journals. जो professional journals के लिए reports लिखी गई होती हैं उनमें by and large जो है वो literature review included होता है. In contrast, if the reports are made for readers within an organization, then literature reviews may be omitted. That's because such reviews are often unnecessary when addressing organizational readers. बहुत बार आपको ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर ही जो आप लिख रहे हो एक रिपोर्ट तो आपको बैकग्राउंड रिव्यू देने की जरूरत नहीं होती. This is because many times organizational readers judge the importance of a report in terms of its relevance to the organization's goals and problems, not in terms of its relation to the general pool of human knowledge. They don't need to know what generally is known about that problem. They are concerned with how it relates to their organization. For example, the typical reader of the truck and satellite communication report that we looked at was interested in the report because he or she or they wanted to learn how well their company system would work. To them, a general survey of the literature on satellite communications would have seemed irrelevant, perhaps even annoying. वो नहीं पढ़ना चाह रहे कि जनरली कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम्स क्या होते हैं, किस लिए होते हैं, क्या क्या उन पर काम किया गया. वो अपनी कंपनी से ताल्लुक रखते हैं और वो उनकी कंपनी के लिए जो उसकी रेलेवेंस है वो उसमें इंटरेस्टेड हैं. A second reason that writers often omit literature reviews when addressing readers in organizations is that such reviews rarely help such readers understand the report. They don't really aid understanding. A lot of the times they end up confusing the reader as well. That's because the research projects undertaken within organizations usually focus so sharply on a particular local question that published literature on the subject in general is besides the point. जो आपके literature का scope है वो इतना focused होता है कि फिर बाकी बात करना जो और बाकी उस topic के बारे में general उसके literature की बात करना जरा irrelevant सा लगता है. तो इसलिए organizations के अंदर ये इसलिए भी literature review को फिर omit कर दिया जाता है. For example, a review of a previously published literature on satellite communications would not have helped readers understand the truck and satellite report either. Sometimes, of course, literature reviews do appear in reports written to organizational readers, and often they say, if they do appear, then they say something like this. In a published article, one of our competitors claims to have saved large amounts of money by trying a new technique. The purpose of the research described in this report is to determine whether or not we could enjoy similar results. अब इसमें जैसे कि आपने देखा लिखने वाले ने अपने कंपेटिटर के क्लेम को रेफर किया है और ये ही बैकग्राउंड जो है ये सफिशिएंट है इस रिपोर्ट के लिए. उन्होंने पूरा नहीं लिखा कि उस कंपेटिटर ने अपनी रिपोर्ट में क्या लिखा, उन्होंने उनकी की फाइंडिंग्स बता दी और ये एक रेफरेंस पॉइंट बन गया जिसकी बेसिस पे आगे रिपोर्ट चली. Of course, the final standard for judging whether you should include a literature review in your report is your understanding of your purpose and your readers. In some way or another, however, the introduction to all your empirical research reports should answer your readers' question, why is this research important to us? Now coming to the objectives of the research. Every empirical research project has carefully constructed objectives. हर प्रोजेक्ट के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते हैं कि वो प्रोजेक्ट क्यों किया जा रहा है, उसके आखिर एम्स क्या हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या हैं, उसका मतलब क्या है, क्यों वो ज़रूरी है. These objectives define the focus of your project, they influence the choice of research methods that are used, and they shape the way in which you interpret your result. Thus, readers of empirical research reports want and need to know what the objectives are. जाहिर है जब ऑब्जेक्टिव्स आपका डिफाइन करेंगे कि आप कौन से मेथड यूज़ कर रहे हैं, आपकी रिसर्च का स्कोप क्या है, आपकी इंटरप्रिटेशन किस तरह होगी, तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ें हैं जो कि रीडर्स को भी पता हो कि ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या हैं. The following example from the satellite report shows one way you can tell your readers about your objectives. It says, in particular, we wanted to test whether we could achieve accurate data transmissions and good quality voice transmissions in the variety of terrains typically encountered in long haul trucking. And the second objective says we wanted also to see what factors might affect the quality of transmissions. अब यहाँ वो बात कर रहे हैं, पहला ऑब्जेक्टिव उनका ये है कि वो ये देखना चाह रहे थे कि वो एक्यूरेट डेटा ट्रांसमिशन अचीव कर सकते हैं या नहीं, और दूसरे वो ये देखना चाह रहे थे कि कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स हैं जो ट्रांसमिशन की क्वालिटी को अफेक्ट करते हैं. अब इन्हीं दो को लेके वो डिसाइड करेंगे कि इन दोनों चीज़ों का जवाब लेने के लिए क्या मेथड्स इस्तेमाल किए जाएं और जो डेटा मिले उसको किस तरह इंटरप्रेट किया जाए कि इन बातों का उनको जवाब मिले और उनके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स पूरे हों. When reporting on research that involves the use of statistics, you can usually state your objectives by stating the hypotheses you tested. Where appropriate, you can explain these hypotheses in terms of existing theory, again citing previous publications on the subject. अगर उस सब्जेक्ट के बारे में पहले काम किया जा चुका है, पहले theories हैं, तो आप उनका हवाला देंगे. The following passage shows how the writer who studied friendship explains some of his hypotheses. Notice how the author begins with the statement of the overall goal of the research. The goal of the study was to identify characteristic behavioral and attitudinal changes that occurred within interpersonal relationships as they progress from initial acquaintance to close friendship. With regard to relationships' benefit and costs, it was predicted that both benefits and costs would increase as the friendship developed. The ratings of both the costs and benefits would be positively correlated with the ratings of friendship intensity. In addition, the types of benefits listed by the subjects were expected to change as the friendships developed. Now, let's have a look at the method. These were the objectives. We looked at objectives, and obviously we said that based on what the objectives were, the method of achieving or the method of obtaining data would be determined. When reading the reports of your empirical research, people will look for precise details concerning your method. जब आपको पता है कि आपके objectives ये हैं, उनकी बेसिस पे आपने एक पर्टिकुलर मेथड चूज किया कि इस तरीके से हम अपना डेटा आप कलेक्ट करेंगे, लेकिन आपके जो पढ़ने वाले हैं उनको उस मेथड की प्रिसाइज डिटेल्स चाहिए. उनको वो ये जानना चाहते हैं कि इस मेथड में क्या क्या चीज़ें शामिल हैं और ये किस तरह आपने डेटा कलेक्ट किया. These details serve three purposes. They let the reader assess the soundness of your research design and appropriateness for problems that you are investigating. पढ़ने वाले को ये पता चल जाता है कि आपका रिसर्च डिज़ाइन कितना ठोस है और कितना मौजू है, जो भी आप जवाब चाह रहे हैं, जो भी आप प्रॉब्लम इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं, उस प्रॉब्लम को इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए. Secondly, the details of your method enable your readers to determine the limitations that your method might place upon the conclusions that you are drawing. जो आपका मेथड है उसकी वजह से आपकी conclusions में क्या limitations हैं, आप क्या क्या चीज़ें कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, क्या चीज़ें नहीं कंक्लूड कर सकते, ये भी आपके जब आप मेथड की डिटेल बताएंगे तो आपके रीडर को इसका अंदाज़ा होगा. एंड थिर्डली, द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ योर मेथड provides information that will help your readers repeat your experiment if they wish to verify your results or conduct similar research of their own. अगर आपके पढ़ने वाले चाहें कि आपने एक रिसर्च की है और आपके पढ़ने वाले चाहते हैं कि वो वही रिसर्च दोबारा करें, शायद इसलिए कि वो आपकी रिसर्च को चेक करना चाह रहे हैं कि वो भी जब वो डेटा ढूंढेंगे तो उनको भी यही जवाब मिलेंगे या नहीं, तो इसलिए भी आप अपने जब मेथड को क्लियरली एक्सपैंड करेंगे, क्लियरली एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, तभी होगा कि आपके पढ़ने वाले उस मेथड को रिपीट कर सकें. या शायद इसलिए वो ना ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो इसलिए रिपीट करना चाहें कि उन्हें आपके फाइंडिंग्स को चेक करना है, वो इसलिए भी रिपीट करना चाह सकते हैं कि वो भी अपनी नॉलेज में इजाफा करके या वो भी इस तरह के प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं जिसमें ये इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए हो जो आपने इस्तेमाल की. So the kind of information you should provide about your method depends upon the nature of your research. जो इस तरह की आपकी रिसर्च है उस हिसाब से आप अपने मेथड के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन रीडर को देंगे. For example, the writer studying friendship began his description of his research method in this way. At the beginning of their first term at the university, college freshmen selected 2 individuals whom they had just met and completed a series of questionnaires regarding their relationships with those 2 individuals at 3-week intervals through the school terms. अब देखें कि इस डिस्क्रिप्शन में उन्होंने बताया है कि फ्रेंडशिप को जब वो रिसर्च कर रहे थे तो किस तरह उसको उन्हें किस तरह रिसर्च किया. जैसे कि आपको याद होगा जब हमने इसके शुरू में हमने बात की थी इसी रिसर्च की, तो इन्होंने ये कहा था कि जबकि पहले रिसर्च लेबोरेटरी सेटिंग्स में देख चुकी है ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स को, रियल लाइफ सिचुएशंस में ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स को नहीं देखा गया. और इसमें अब वो बता रहे हैं कि कॉलेज में, यूनिवर्सिटी में किस तरह उनने लोगों को इंटरैक्ट कराया और फिर उनको मॉनिटर किया. फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स ने 2 लोगों को सिलेक्ट किया जिनको वो भी मिले थे नए, और उनके साथ मिलके एक क्वेश्चंस की सीरीज या कुछ क्वेश्चंस को फिल किया अपनी रिलेशनशिप्स के हवाले से, और तीन हफ्तों के बाद उनने ये सवालात के जवाब दिए ताकि कंसिस्टेंसी आए. उन जवाबात के बेसिस के ऊपर ये जो भी रिसर्च की फाइंडिंग्स की गई वो की गई. In the remaining of the paragraph, the writers explain the questionnaires that asked the freshmen to tell about such things as their attitudes towards each of the 2 individuals. However, the paragraph that we saw and the remainder of the paragraph that you have not seen is a small amount of the researcher's account of his method. The actual research is a document of about 1200 words, but the research methods have been discussed in just a few words. The writers of the satellite report likewise provided detailed information about their procedures. He provides 3 paragraphs and 2 slides explaining their equipment that was used, and then also uses 2 paragraphs and 1 map describing the 11th stage region covered by the trucks. ट्रक्स जो जहाँ जाते हैं, जो 11 रीजन्स में, उनकी क्या क्या स्टेजेस थी, किस तरह वो जाते थे, उनको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए 2 पैराग्राफ्स और 1 मैप इस्तेमाल किया गया. और जो इक्विपमेंट इस्तेमाल किया गया रिसर्च के लिए उसको डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए 3 पैराग्राफ और 2 टेबल्स इस्तेमाल किए गए. तो ये जाहिर है खासा लेंथी डिस्क्रिप्शन हो गया रिसर्च मेथड का, लेकिन क्योंकि रिसर्च ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड थी इसलिए उसके मेथड्स भी ज़्यादा थे जो इस्तेमाल किए गए, और उनकी डिस्क्रिप्शन भी इसलिए ज़्यादा लंबी है. Now you as a writer need to decide which method to include. The most obvious way in which to decide is to follow the general reporting practices in your field. आपके एरिया में, आपकी फील्ड में क्या जनरल प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, ये पता करने के लिए सबसे आसान तरीका ये है कि आपकी फील्ड में जो और रिपोर्ट्स लिखी गई हों आप उनको एक नज़र देखिए, उनमें देखें कि उनमें जो मेथड्स का सेक्शन है वो किस तरह है, कितना लंबा है, उसमें कितनी डिटेल दी गई है. अगर जनरली भी आपके एरिया में बहुत शॉर्ट कंसाइज तरीके से मेथड्स के सेक्शन को डील किया जाता है, बहुत डिटेल्ड डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं दी जाती, तो फिर आपको भी देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. लेकिन अगर आपके एरिया में, आपकी फील्ड में ऐसा है कि जनरली जो आर्टिकल्स या रिपोर्ट्स छपती हैं उनमें बहुत डिटेल होती है मेथडोलॉजी की, तो फिर आपको भी वो डिटेल मुहैया करनी होगी कि आपने क्या मेथड यूज़ किए और किस तरह यूज़ किए. You can check the scope of your research in the ways described in what you see on your screen now. You need to list every aspect of your procedure that you made a decision about when planning your research. आपके प्रोसीजर के बारे में क्या क्या डिफरेंट पहलू थे जिनके बारे में आपने डिसीजंस किए, उनकी आप लिस्ट बनाइए. Then identify every aspect of your research that your readers might ask about. वो कौन कौन से पहलू हैं जिनके बारे में शायद पढ़ने वाले कुछ सवाल पूछें. Ask yourself what aspects of your procedure might limit the conclusions you draw from your results. एक कुछ टाइम लेके अपने आप से भी पूछिए कि आपके प्रोसीजर के बारे में क्या क्या ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिनकी वजह से शायद आपकी जो कंक्लूजन्स हैं वो लिमिट हो जाएं, आपके जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो लिमिट हो जाएं. आइडेंटिफाई एवरी प्रोसीजर दैट अदर रिसर्चर्स वुड नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इन ऑर्डर टू डिजाइन अ सिमिलर स्टडी. क्या क्या आपका जो प्रोसीजर है उसमें कौन कौन से वो स्टेप्स हैं जो आपने ज़रूर लिखने हैं, क्योंकि वो स्टेप्स ऐसे हैं कि उनके बगैर दूसरे रिसर्चर्स यही प्रोसीजर फॉलो नहीं कर सकते. तो इफ़ यू फील दैट दे आर नेसेसरी in order to use this procedure again, then you need to list those features as well. Now, that was the methods. A checklist, a few things you needed to list, you needed to put down in your method section, and why you needed to put them down, how that affected your understanding of what you were doing, and how that affected your reader's understanding of the reliability of the methods used and of how you did things. The next section will deal with the results that you actually got by using those methods. आपने methods जब इस्तेमाल किए तो जाहिर है आपने कुछ methods का मतलब ये कि आपने कुछ काम किया और आपने किस तरह किया. अब जब आपने वो experiments थे या questionnaires थे या interviews थे, जब वो कर लिए, उनके आपने description दे दी, अब आपने ये भी तो बताना है कि उनसे आपको मिला क्या, results क्या थे, नतीजे क्या थे. The results of empirical research are the data that you obtain. Although your results are the heart of your empirical research or your empirical research project, they may take up a very small portion of it. Generally, results are presented in one of two ways. They're either presented through tables and graphs. The satellite report uses 2 tables. The report in friendship uses 4 tables and 11 graphs. Or results can be placed in sentences. When placed in sentences, results are often woven into a discussion that combines data and interpretation. Sometimes writers briefly present all their results in one section and then discuss them in a separate section. Sometimes they combine the two in a single integrated section, and then in this integrated section it's often interwoven. The results can also be interwoven with the data. Whichever method you use, your discussion must link your interpretative comments with the specific results that you are interpreting. जो भी आपके अपने comments हैं, जो आपके हैं, आपकी interpretation है, उनका कोई ना कोई ताल्लुक होना चाहिए उन रिजल्ट्स के साथ जिनको आप वाज़े कर रहे हैं, जिनके ऊपर आप इंटरप्रिटेशन दे रहे हैं. आप अपने ओपिनियंस या अपनी तरफ से कोई बात ऐसी नहीं करेंगे जिसका कोई ताल्लुक आपके रिजल्ट्स के साथ ना हो. Let's have a look at an example where we have a discussion section and we're going to look at the different sections or the different elements of a discussion section. The first section is the emphasis on the key results that are shown in the table. It says, as table 3 shows, 91% of the data transmissions were successful. Now this next sentence, then in the next sentence, the writers draw attention to other important results by saying, the most important difference to note is the one between the rate of successful transmissions in the southern Piedmont region and the rates in all the other regions. Then in the last section, the writers interpret these results. They say, in the southern Piedmont area, we had the truck drive slightly outside the ATS6 footprint so that we could see if successful transmissions could be made there. When the truck left the footprint, the percentage of successful data transmissions dropped abruptly to 43%. तो ये आखिर में उनकी इंटरप्रिटेशंस थी कि जब ये काम किया गया तो फिर कितनी ड्रॉप हुई, क्या देखा गया. Let's have a look at the other example where we were talking about friendship and relationships, and let's see the discussion section of that report. In this, the writers first give the general interpretation. They say intercorrelations among the subject's friendship intensity ratings at the various assessment points showed that friendship attitudes became increasingly stable over time. Then this next section talks about the specific results presented as support for the interpretation. पहले उन्होंने interpretation दी है और अब जो specific results थे वो इस्तेमाल किए उस interpretation को support करने के लिए. For example, The correlation between friendship intensity ratings at 3 weeks and 6 weeks was 0.55, between 6 weeks and 9 weeks 0.78, between 9 weeks and 12 weeks 0.88. तो इस तरह आप ये दो तरीके हैं जिसमें आप अपने डिस्कशंस प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं, इंटरप्रिटेशन और रिजल्ट्स को मिक्स कर सकते हैं या अलग अलग बता सकते हैं. एक को पहले दूसरे को बाद में, ऑर्डर भी आप डिसाइड करेंगे अकॉर्डिंग टू द नेचर ऑफ योर रिपोर्ट. नाउ लेट्स कम टू द कंक्लूजन्स. Besides interpreting the results of your search, you need to explain what your results mean in terms of original research questions that you had at the beginning and the general problem that you set out to investigate. Your explanation of these matters are the conclusions. The readers of some empirical research reports want to know what, based on the research, the writers think should be done. रिसर्च जो आपने की है उसकी बेस पे आपका क्या ख्याल है कि अब क्या होना चाहिए, और ये पढ़ने वाले जानना चाहते हैं. दिस इज स्पेशली ट्रू इन केसेस वेयर द रिसर्च इज डायरेक्टेड एट सॉल्विंग अ प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम, एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंटली देन रिसर्च रिपोर्ट्स इंक्लूड अ सेक्शन ऑन recommendations. So basically these were all the 7 sections of an empirical research report. In this lecture we've looked at typical writing situations, where the typical situations in which empirical research reports are written. We've looked at the questions that readers are most likely to ask. We've looked at the superstructure for empirical research reports, which included the introduction, the objectives of the research, method, discussion, conclusion, recommendation. We also looked at a planning guide at the end, and in this lecture we've also seen some samples of research reports. With this, we come to the end of today's lesson on empirical research writing. I will see you next time. Until then, Allah Hafiz.